Are live here on Facebook. Hi, welcome. Okay, I'm just gonna invite more people in just to make sure that you all get in the room. Get in onto my Facebook page. Yes, we are online. Awesome,
Yeah, I can
awesome.
see that.
Wonderful. Okay. So how are you this morning, Maii?
I'm feeling really well, and I think it's very
Hello,
timing.
everybody.
Yeah, we are here. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think this talk is very timing because it's truly helped me seize one of the aspects that I need to claim more, which is my time.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna lead it to the conversations, but I just realized today that I needed to no longer trade my time for the money anymore, because the rich mindset is usually people gonna trade money for time. They're gonna use
Okay.
the money to have more time, but for us normally we're gonna always spend more time to save some money, right? But today I realized that I need more time with my baby and with my life, and I just have to start owning it.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's get into it. And good morning, everybody out there who is watching, and happy Wednesday. I'm very grateful this morning to have my mastermind and collaborator, Maii Vu, who is currently in Sydney right now, as I am in Kuala Lumpur right now. And it has been an amazing year last year. We met last year, right, Maii?
Yeah.
During the pandemic and the time when people were still in shock. Some people are still in shock. Some people are still in wait and see, and some people are still in go hustle mode. And there are some people who are they just don't know what's going on. They're just confused and just they're not even feeling hopeful of what this whole situation happening around the world is going on. And when I met Maii last year, I saw her because she was very visible in our feminine group, right? And Maii was somebody that I was drawn to because of her posts and because of her showing up, and that is the result of someone who is not afraid to show up, not afraid to share her beliefs and her take on life. And there are people out there just like myself who resonate with that, and I connected with them. And long story short, here we are. We're going to do a lot more projects that's coming up, and very excited about it. And I'd love for you, if people, I'm sure the people in my community have already known Maii because I talk about you a lot, Maii, to my people. And for those of you who are not familiar with Maii, she's Vietnamese living in Sydney. And also she is an empowerment coach for women. And I see that she's highly spiritual in the way she conducts herself and the way she conducts her business. And I was drawn to her because of that, right? And this topic today of our conversation is on spirituality and spiritual connection and success and achievement. And just like when I was masterminding with Maii last year, I noticed that she was not in major hustle mode, but right, Maii? She was not in major hustle mode, but she was attracting and manifesting and growing her tribe and making like a regular 5 figures in her business every month. And I'm very grateful that we are sharing this message now with all of you. And I want, if possible, everyone to have the realization that spirituality is key in anything, and spirituality is first in anything that you do. So my question to Maii to start off will be on why spirituality and what got you drawn to spirituality, to doing what you are doing right now and advocating this message. What was that first things that happened in your life?
Yeah, thank you for the grand introductions. I start seeing some hearts and dollars here, and also a lot of women, I'm sure. Please present yourself in the chat because we would love to connect with you. Because I'm going to share with you one key point I want to send to all of you who are actually watching on replay that gift. But thank you to the really thoughtful questions. I just go back to the background. We are from Asia, and usually we always think that, oh, because they are living in the Western country, they can have more. They can have this grand life. They can have this beautiful success. They can have this multi-million-dollar business. Who are we to have it, right? We usually think it that ways. And I have really big dreams. Like, I'm a small woman in a small country having so much big dream, and I have no idea how to get it done if it were for a masculine action. So if you wanted to climb the ladder of corporates, or you wanted to do things step by step, it's going to take you a while. It's going to take you maybe at the next generation or the third to actually get to that level. And we only have maximums 80 or 90 if we're lucky years of living, and we already have lived like 1/3 of that. So how many years do we have left here? And when I realized I don't have that much time that I think, and I want that success to be now, then what else can I do without working harder? What else can I do without taking the normal journey, the normal like corporate and cultural journey to get there? That is when I discover spirituality, and it's just like an egg and a chicken. What comes first? Is it like spirituality first, or that desire come first? I don't know, but perhaps because I have that desire, and that is a spiritual awakening, that pointing me towards where I needed to go. So I started to go into spirituality, firstly religiously, but later on a lot more spiritual, knowing about the universe, the laws, the miracle mindset, abundant mindset, the law of abundance, and all of that, which I realized there's like 10 of that laws that govern our life out there. And if we know how life functions, you get that ticket to get ahead of life. Like, who else want to get ahead of life, right? Because when you know how whatever is functioning, just like you know how to build a house, then you can go on and build 10 more houses. So when I start to realize this is the way that that house got built, then I'm not afraid to go out, show up and build one, and then later 2 and 3 more houses. So I think that is just where I realized that if I wanted to work as usual, normal, I can't get there. And I need to find a better way and a better solutions. And when I keep asking that better questions, then I start finding that path of spirituality.
Absolutely. You have to ask better questions and you will get better answers, right?
Yes, exactly.
What resonated with me was that it's exactly how I felt also. I did start with, I couldn't connect spirituality with business before, and it was like, yeah, spirituality and religion. But even then, when I was practicing, I mean, I still am practicing my faith very, even much so now, because I've incorporated spirituality within me, right? And but before that, when it was just like, oh yeah, I got to do this, I got to eat this, I got to fast during this time and all that, but in not incorporating that spirituality, it was just doing. Right?
Religiously for us, it's like rituals.
Yeah, rituals, exactly.
Understand the meaning. Why do we need to do it? Why do we have to go vegan? If you know that animals carry fear in their blood cells, and when they got killed, there's so much fear stored in their blood cell. So whenever you go through a challenge moment, you don't want to eat meat, because that is more like bringing more fear into your body. If you know that fact and you know that, then you would have willingly wanted to be on vegan more during the time, right? So I think religiously at first it felt like a force, kind of like a set of rules, a way of living. But later on, when we start understanding the meaning of it, we start tapping onto that spiritual realm where you understand this is why there is energy, there is vibration, there is like quantum field and all of that. And when you tap onto that and you understand the meaning of that, then you started to willingly do more I mean, like do more of the healthy workouts spiritually.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was sharing just now. It's about that when you incorporate spirituality in your faith, it makes so much sense because everything is about energy and everything is about connection to a higher power. And then the results happen, right? When it's just on the physical, like, you know, even in our work, right? We just hustle, work. Oh, we gotta do this, put the sales page out, connect with people, call people, how many people, 20, 30 people per day. When it becomes all of that, and without that energy and that faith and that spiritual connection, there is a big difference. How about Maii, do you have some personal experience that you can share with us as well on the results that you got? Yeah, I love stories.
I think we people love story, and we learn a lot through stories.
Yeah.
Just I think I would always use my podcast recently as a story example. So when I do the podcast, usually if we are on the masculine sides, like comparing, you have to, like, if you wanted to grow to 6-figure, you have to have a podcast, you have to have that platform. Like if you go into that should and must and need to do it, you are not gonna have the podcast launch in a successful way. In fact, I knew a coach where I looked up to a lot, and she also have like already earned 6-figure. But when she did her podcast, it was because that is a trend that everyone else is doing, and she did a really she did a great job. However, the podcast doesn't grow as fast as much as she wanted, and then she stopped for a while. But for me, on the other hand, I did podcasts not because of I should do it. I never think that I need to do it because it would give me more money. In fact, podcasts cost more money, cost more time. And even my coach told me that, well, you can't have this, like you can't have this podcast right now because that is investing the hour on this, and you cannot risk start having an hour without having investment, like I said. But I love it. I really wanted to share this podcast and bringing this information to more women and to bring up the light to the more women. I just did it, and in fact, it grew from like 1,000 in the first month of listening to like 3,000, I remember. And the third month, I was having some, because of I launched that podcast, I had some women reach out to me and invited me into a Vietnamese summit, and I brought in, I think, 4,000 on the third month, and until now 5,000 was like the normal downloads for this podcast without me doing any paid ads, any reach out. I mean, like collaboration wise, I have a very minimum kind of tier of collaboration. I haven't gone into like any coaches that have 10,000 of followers who share about my podcast, and it just grow by itself. And I realized that when you bring love, energy, and you bring that service mindset, that I want to have more women, I want this podcast to reach to the right person, the universe is my matchmaker. You have no idea how many women, like my group have grown from 500, I think last May, to 1,000, nearly 1,008 right now. And every day I look at the answer on how do you know about this group, and most of the answers saying I stumble upon a podcast randomly or on YouTube or on Spotify. They recommended me, and I know that universe is my matchmaker. My only job is to bring myself, be visible, putting that message out there, strengthening the belief, having that unwavering faith that universe is going to bring me the clients, the audiences who needed this the most, and let universe finish the rest. That was one story about the podcast, and I'm not sure who else love podcasts listening here. I see a lot of women here watching. But,
do some likes or loves.
Yeah, who also have listened to Empowered podcast, please drop a heart or like send some love here. But the next story I will share is really about my last launch. I remember my last launch was during August, and it was just a week before my birthday, and I was like going all in. I give the best every single day. I'm training for like an hour and a half free, and I knew that because I did this, then law of compensation means that I would receive a much more abundance coming back to me. Have no idea how it would happen. At that time, I only have 6 clients signing up for that program. Have no idea how the rest would be filled up. And I remember I keep saying to my universe, like, I need to rest tomorrow because I was sick. I literally, after that 5-day giving everything all in, I was so sick and I need to rest. And I told my universe that I need you to step in and finish the rest here. I have tried my best. You need to finish the rest. That is my mantra usually. I have tried my best. You need to finish the rest. And on that particular day itself, 2 women signed up without even talking to me. One woman joined a clarity call and later on bought a whole 3-month private coaching. 2 more women sign up the next days and saying there was one woman who doesn't have money and she only have about $500, and she said that I need to manifest the rest of $500, and I helped her to manifest, and within that 2 weeks she got that money donated by an audience, not from her parents, not from a job. She never have a job. And that was when I realized that, wow, this is how it's done. My only job is to show up for my programs, to show up and launch it. And the woman who needed this would come in. This is how I launch everything right now. Like, I just put it out there, having everyone know about it, making a big noise about it if I can. But I know that this is going to bring value to people, and the right people would come in and benefit from this the most.
Absolutely. And yeah, I so believe in that. And it's like, I was just sharing with my group, I mean, during an orientation recently for the people who just recently joined my group. And the first thing that I mentioned was that in our community, it's always prayers as the first resort, right? Yeah. Your connection to God is the first resort, not as the last resort, yeah. Which I remember when I've been in business a long time, and I just wanting to introduce love in an organization. I had HR managers in the past before. This was like 10, 15 years ago, right? When I was meeting HR managers and all that, and they were like, oh, no love in organization. That's dangerous, you know? And can you believe that they actually say that to me in my face? But right now, I mean, the people who are like, 15 years later, the next generation of leaders are coming up. They're like, Mushida, we want you to teach love and respect in the organization. Yeah. How can we have more of that? Because the awareness has started to shift, because they realize the old way of leading, the old way of doing business, the way of doing the hustle, right, was totally not unspiritual, and it has caused a lot of repercussions in people's lives.
Yeah, and when you function from a place of masculinity, you actually are thinking more, and when you think more, you activate that thinking thought and that fear, because fear caused by your brain. Your brain wanted you to stay safe, so it's having more fear, doubt, and questionings, and you actually limit yourself by itself. So you actually stand in between your desire and your own self. When I learned the truth about the art of allowing, which means that the next step from spiritual connection and seeing that desire is allowing, it means that you have to take yourself out of that equation. You have to take yourself out of the how. You have to stop asking, when would it happen and how can it happen? And instead just allow that if this is showing up in my heart and I see that, it means that there's someone needed. Like, you have no idea how many times, again and again and again, that I put out there a podcast or a program of even a free event or like a paid program, and people just messaged me and said, I literally just prayed to have this yesterday and this morning, and I now find you, and I'm so thankful. Like, every single day, a miracle message like that is in my inbox. And even without me launching, the last month I launched Elite Mastermind, which is my highest private coaching. I didn't talk about it that much because it's like a private inclusive event. But a lot of women just messaged me and say, I wanted to learn how to do business from a feminine place. I don't want hardworking. I don't want to work long hours and long time to get there. And I was like, yeah, I didn't even talk about it yet. But people already was drawn into my vibrations and seeking that answer. So I would want to share just one point here for everyone, because I know you guys are ambitious women and you want success. You want higher achievements, and you know by higher achievement you might need to work harder, but I'm here to prove that you don't have to work harder. You just have to connect deeper. And what I realized that whatever we are offering out there and selling out their products, service, someone else is actually asking to have that. Someone else is praying to have that. Someone else is in need of that right now. And our own job is to just be the channel of love, of miracles and light, to bring that from universe to those women.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I noticed also, prayers is the first resort instead of the last resort. Like a lot of people, when they're in trouble, when they lost money, or they
pray, but they have to pray every day.
Yeah, first thing, even before you start a relationship or want a relationship or a marriage or something like that, it's always about prayers first as the first resort. Now, the other thing I wanted to share also is that when you are connected to spirit, right, you get a lot of awareness about who is right and who is not right in your circle. Do you experience that as well? Like the wrong people?
You mean who is aligned?
No, it's just that the wrong people will just show up. They may be in your life for like a couple of months or maybe years, or they may be in your life for a long time. And then it's like when you are connected to spirit and your intention is clear and your purpose is clear, the wrong people suddenly show up and they're already there. I mean, it's not like they're like, hi, you meet them at the bus stop or something like that, you know, but it's just that they're already in your life for a long time.
Yeah, but you don't see it.
Yeah, you don't see it. And they can also be in your personal space. They can also be in your business. And for me, that experience comes out sometimes in like, you know, it's the intuition is not like very subtle. It becomes bomb. It becomes like that. And I'm like, oh my God, this person is actually destroying the business, destroying the company, or, you know, and it just comes out and it's like, where did that come from? I get this. And it's like, and it comes out later when you actually see the intention of the person.
But I love these questions.
Yeah, and I've had that a couple of times only because the rational mind says like, maybe I'm wrong, you know, that sort of thing. And it's not good to judge people anyway, but it's like that feeling, that gut feeling comes out, and they show up when you are connected to spirit. And this has been very, very obvious for me. Maii, how about you? Have you also experienced something like this?
I love this. I love these questions because people usually have that problems asking me when you are so spiritual connection or allowing the flow of life, right? And you open up and a lot of people come in, and how can you know if it's the right people or if it's the wrong people? And I'll tell them, you know when you know it, because today I learned one big thing, and I want people to write it down and taking away this note, because, you know, I'm not sure about you, but I think your audience's community always are really great at engaging and taking notes. When you take notes, it's become your information. So today I learned that the signs, okay, so when we have a bad feelings, it is a signs, right? A bad feeling come with a negative thoughts. It is a sign that you actually go off the alignment path. And whenever you see something that you don't like, it is also the sign to show you the opposite of which you do like. So somehow you always claim that I think I remember the other day you said, I just want to high vibe people in my circle. I just want high vibe, go for it, no excuses, no nonsense people. When you claim that, universe listen to you. And the first thing that universe would do is to help you cleanse all of the wrong people out, so that you make space for the new people, because your space are limited, your space are just this much people. So whenever you claim anything and you make that bold statement that I want the better life, I want a better money, I want a better man, a husband, or love, all of that, be willing to receive that breakdown. Because when you wanted to build a new house, then you have to crash the whole house down, remove all of that thing underneath, and rebuild everything. And this first stage of breaking down before breakthrough is always a really crucial stage. So just take the note down that whatever you see that you don't like, it's a sign for you to show you that whatever you want is on the way. And you just need to keep yourself focusing on what do I like instead. You don't ignore these people, you have to act on it, but you remind yourself, okay, instead of this is bad, like they always robbed from my time and money, focus back on who do I want to work with? Who do I want to be in my vibration? Focusing on having more of those people to draw them in more and push and clear out all of that away. I love this question because that was exactly the second day. I'm doing the 5-day event coming up. The second day is really about that path of least resistance, that allowing the negative feelings, the low vibrations, the bad people to come up, clean it out, so you make space for the manifestation to happen very much faster. Do you get it, ladies? You get that?
Absolutely. And then also maybe this, because I do have men in my community, Maii. I know some ladies are more heart-centered and intuitive. I've got men also struggling with this because they're still programmed in the hustle mode, like the logical mode, and like I gotta get the money otherwise. And I've always advised this, you gotta step back and do something high vibe, but I gotta get the money. They're always focused on this. And well, I do teach certain techniques in my community and in my training. What about you? What advice would you give, or what technique would you give to people who are like really stuck and they struggle with this and they have no idea what is this prayer thing, what is this meditation thing, what has that got to do with my money life, money and my life? How would you recommend that first step would be?
And I would send so much compassion to all of those men and women, because we are programmed to function in that way. And in fact, just 5 years ago, I was programmed, and I'm sure you were as well, to function in the same way. And then if at that time you told me to go and meditate instead of working, I would say, no, I'm not going to do it. I need to work to finish this. And I didn't realize that I can just do the work here and have some rest, and maybe the right person who showed up to help me finish the rest. I never bought into that. But I want to share with you that the more time you spend on your soul work, your heart work, the less time you would spend on your hard work. The less time you would need. Maybe you would need 100 hours to get to that level of money that you desire, or level of success that you desire. But if you spend 1 hour of soul work every single day, perhaps it can happen within just a month's time. And that is shortening down the time. Why do I know that? Because whatever you desire is in fact already manifested on the quantum field, on another time lineage. Like, we think time is lineage, like you have to have your 20, then you have to move to your 24 before you move to 28. No, your 20 is now currently existing together with your 26 and together with your 40s. So if you are right now here and you see the desire, you think maybe at 40 I'll have it, it's already there. And you might have it by your 30, you never know. If you know how to move there faster, that's all. You have to learn how to jump from this timeline to this timeline to this timeline to this timeline, instead of you go like along the time's journey. Does it make sense, people? So when you know that the more soul work you put in, the more soul growth you have, the less time you would put in to have the success that you want, then you would want to dedicate that 1 hour every single day to connect to your spiritual. Maybe in that spiritual drum, you would heard the message, you would heard the program, you would heard the price point, you would see the person you need to hire next, you would find the next mastermind partner. In fact, I told everyone of my that dream tribe, like I recorded an affirmations every single night. I listened to it. 2 weeks after Moshida said, do you want to be in my mastermind? She was like, exactly the checklist that I have in that affirmation. How did it happen? Because I programmed my mind to search for it while I sleep. And when you know the secrets, you are going to have so much more and working less. And in fact, when you see a lot of millionaires and rich people on this world, they don't work their ass off to get there. I'm sorry about the language, but they don't work so hard to get there. They work on the soul level to grow the soul level. Absolutely. To develop that soul wisdom so that they attract and get there faster.
Yeah. And the people who are, I would say the people who are really at peace are the people who are spiritual and spirituality. And this is also a lot of people struggle with, like, how can you be rich and spiritual at the same time? Yes, you can, because being wealthy is also a spiritual act. Because for me, I stand on the ground that I disagree with people saying like, oh, money is evil, money is the root of all evils and all that, and I hear it all the time. And because of money people fight and all that. I say no, because of money, like Chinese New Year, right? There's Yisang. People spend money. They invest money, and they're investing in relationships, right? Having dinners together. You can go on holidays together. It is what you do with money. Money is neither evil or good. It is just is. It's an energy. It's a tool. And I believe that with abundance of wealth and money, you get to do a bigger purpose. You get to help more people. You get to create your social impact. And it all boils down to the spiritual connection and your heart-centeredness, because even people without money can do really evil things as well, just for money or not, it's like that. Yeah.
I really know why people resist it, because I did resist that as well when I started to raise my rate and seeing myself earning more. So I went into prayer and I asked my spiritual guidance, like, please help me making sense of this. And I have been like having the 3 days of just being so frustrated, like, do I raise my rate or can I do it and all of that. And one day at 4 a.m. I remember I just woke up because I couldn't sleep, and I knew that usually if you got called at 3:30 or 4 a.m. it's usually your spirit calling you up. And I wake up at 4 and I hear so loud and go into meditation. I hear so loud the message that, my money is just energy. The more money you receive, the more energy you receive, the more energy you can give. When you receive this money, you are going to have more energy to provide more out there. You're going to be able to do more free stuff. Like that was the month I launched my podcast, and have so much more energy. And in fact, right now I can see myself functioning so much higher because I have higher earning income.
Yeah.
So when I realized that money is just energy, and the more money I allow to come into my energy, the more energy I have to give back, because money is just a flow. Then I would be willing to receive that anyway. So in fact, I just want to share one last story to inspire everyone here, because we all know this key person in this world. You think famous people don't do spiritual, you are wrong. I'm going to share about a story of Michael Jackson's. I read it in a book, and in fact, like the manager of Michael Jackson's once shared with the press about how he produced a lot of hits during his sleep. Michael usually call his manager at 3 a.m. in the morning and said, hey, you have to write this down. You have to write the song. You have to start noting this down. And the manager said, Michael, no one write music at 3 a.m. Let me sleep. And then we go back to it tomorrow at the first thing I'll do for you tomorrow. And Michael said, no, you have to wake up. You have to open your computer. You have to start composing this right now. And the manager insists to calling him off and letting him sleep. And Michael said, no, if you don't do this right now, this is gonna go to Prince. So if everyone knows the story about Michael Jackson and the Prince, right? Like they're always like having that head-to-head competition. But the moral of that story is, if you don't do this right now, the desire would come to the Prince and he would be able to manifest it. So what is it story about? The story about universe is never like comparing or judging anyone. Universe always find those who have open-hearted, who are willing to co-create, who are willing to receive that desire, that idea, that message, and willing to manifest it and bring that into a physical form. And you're just going to bring all the resources, the support, the people, the teaching, the money, the energy for you to do that. Just like how Michael Jackson produced so much hits during those 3 a.m. moments, because he received the desire and he acted on it right away. So I would love for you to know that every big success, like beyond human limitation out there, actually were the facts from a spiritual driven. You just don't know the story behind it, and it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's functioning, it's living in every single one of us. And I'm sure you will hear your call to this call. Just act on it and start tapping onto your spiritual connection more by having your rituals, by having yourself furnished with the knowledge, with the tools and practices that bring you stronger connection every single day.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's always spirit first, and then everything else will flow, and the energy will attract the right energy, and yeah, there's no right time for that. There's no specific time. It is anytime, yeah, to be connected to spirit. So I would like you to also share about this upcoming program that you are having as well.
Oh yeah, thank you. And I just want to acknowledge Diana, Aisha, Rita, Hasuni, like Sophia, all of the people, Rosanna, Zozilla, who are here and watching us with us, and whoever is on replay, because I knew the fact that we all know about spiritual, we all know about this, but how can we bring this woo-woo thing into a practical daily life? You don't want to sit on your meditation couch for like an hour or like 2 hours per day to get your downloads, right? And in fact, that is not healthy. So I'm by chance was very good with that, combining spiritual practice and putting it in a ritual so that you get connected with your spiritual, receive your guidance and manifest. I just want everyone to close your eyes and really see, if you have $1 million right now, right? What would you want to do with it? What you want to do tomorrow? What would you want us to spend it on? What are you going to do and to use it? This is the best life. This is the life of unlimited potential, endless possibility for all of us, right? How would you feel? You feel expansive. You feel like, yes, like I'm so free to be that, to have support that charity, to do that event, to bring this grand gesture, to bring people to the retreat, right? And I want you to start asking yourself this question: how cool would it be for you to live and manifest the best life every single day? You know, this moment is the best gift to create the next moment and the next day and the next year. This is the key moment. The past was gone. This is the gift of this present moment. This moment when you think the right thought, have the right feelings, focus on the right visions, embodying your next versions, removing all of those negative emotion and negative stories and conditionings, you have the best shot to have manifested the best life right tomorrow. Do you want to claim that? So I just wanted to bring that practical, that woo-woo concept into practical daily life through 5 days, spiritual alignment. I call it spiritual alignment. It means that we just need to live in alignment every single day to manifest the best. And of course, Mashida, you are invited. I'm sure this is a really powerful co-creational space.
Absolutely. Okay, so you'll put the link in the comments below, right?
Yes,
later on.
Absolutely. On the comments now.
All right. So do we have any, before we end the session, anybody there has any questions? Good morning, Puan Mushida. Or good morning, Ustad Hasnol. Puan Maii Vu. Okay. Nice. Very good. Okay. Thank you so much. Anything else you'd like to say before we end this session?
I would love to say this. When before the call, I go into meditation and I ask what would be the message that these people, this woman, this man need to listen today, and this come on in front of me so clear, because I can talk about anything, right? But this message needed to be sent to you guys all today. That is, successful people, you are ambitious, you want to achieve better. We start to need to prioritize manifestation and attractions more than hard working, because the age of hard working is no longer valid. Whatever you plan, predict, and have it done in the most known way was no longer valid. 2020 was the year of flexibility, of unexpected, of pivoting and going with the flow. And I'm sure moving forward, it's a guaranteed situation for the world. So it is no longer the age of plan, predict, and moving step by step system. And by you prioritizing manifestation and living in alignment every single day, you have your best shot to achieve higher with going deeper. And you're gonna have that fulfillment, because sometimes you find money goal is your ultimate goal. Is not. When I reach my goal last year, the goal, like the whole year, like 30 years of my life, I said, if I were to have that, I would be so rich. When I had that, that day, I felt so empty. I said, money is not happiness. True that money, if well spent, would bring me fulfillment, but money is never the goal that bring me that fulfillment. And when you know how to get ahead of life, when you know how to get on top of life, how life works, the laws of the universe, how it governs your life, when you know how you can use this information to your best advantage and manifest every single thing, why don't you grab this chance and go into this workout and dive deeper into the spiritual realm, because that is where endless possibility can happen.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah, very wonderful. And we have this term that we use, right? Bending time and space. We bend time and space.
Traveling.
Yes, we bend time and space. Yeah, because some people say, oh, you can get it in 2 years time, 3 years time, but why not get it in 20 minutes time or 30 minutes time if you can?
One of my clients last year, December, she said that December 2019, she said that I wanted to become a coach in 2 years time. And on January, she hired me as a love coach. No kidding. And then along the way, I grew into a life coach. And now I grew into like kind of like success, potential coach, whatever name it is, but I help women tapping onto their potential and use that to manifest the best life. And 6 months after working with me, she becomes a life coach. 3 months after working with me, 3 months after being a life coach, while working with me, she have like 15 clients, earning 2,000 to 3,000 per month. That is a dream of any new coach. I'm sure you know. And she looked back and she said, yeah, it doesn't take me 2 years. It took me 6 months of working with the right coach and the right mindset. So I'm sure people, you just need to get in touch with that and manifest.
Absolutely. Yes. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much, Maii, for this amazing morning. It's morning here. It's afternoon for you already, right? Yeah. So yeah, it's a great start to the day for a lot of us here with this conversation, and it's a great reminder. And yeah, we'll see more of each other during the challenge, hopefully, and we'll see the rest of you in any of our other meetups.
And also, if you want more Mashida strategy thing and my mindset energy thing, we have more events together coming up this year, and we would love to have your support and sharing and engaging in those events, because whatever we do, we just want to bring the knowledge that have helped us to help you move faster and easier on your journey.
Absolutely. And it's so amazing how a lot of things have transformed in our lives, haven't it? Yeah. So so important to have a mastermind partner.
I know.
It is.
So whoever is watching replay, please drop a yes. I will send you the link down below to that event, because it's limited seats. I'm not opening it for public. It's limited seats and it's by invitation only. And to the rest of you, I wish that this year would bring you amazing success by you doing less, much less.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you, everybody. Lots of love.